Yeah, dog. Thomas G here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to R2R live stream, episode number 18, guys. All right. So forget to set the post notifications, subscribe, drop a comment, and get active in the chat. We're going to be interacting with anybody who comes in chat and asks questions. That way we can get collective feedback and thoughts of the excitement about today's video. All right. That Hyper has the buy and burn that just surpassed Titanx V2 buy and burns. We'll look at those stats in a sec, but don't forget the most addicting game in all of crypto right now is a free tap to earn. It's called Bad Bunny, right? The link will be in the description, guys, so you can take a look. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. Very addicting, but they just did a official partnership with Tonko, which is a mini app on the upcoming DEX on the Tom blockchain. They have 600K active users. So that partnership is big. Again, you need a smartphone. You need to download Telegram. Click the link in the description. It gets you all set up through the Telegram bot, and you can start earning crypto. I have my kids earning crypto right now for this airdrop of the meme token that's going to happen on SwapX. So very excited about that. Let's get into today's video, today's stream on what we're going to talk about. The big news, right? I think it's very important to see what's happened here. We'll call it the buy and burn flippening, the most healthiest and bullish flippening in all of crypto when it comes to buy and burns. And the reason being, we take a look here. Let me make sure you're I'm looking at the comments. You're going to be the biggest tapper, dog. Yeah, man, I'm tapping away. My thumb actually hurts from playing Bad Bunny. My thumb hurts so bad. So I had to switch the other hand, and then I got my kids working. I mean, you guys want McDonald's tonight? You better tap away and get me 1,000,000 points on your phones. But anyways, the buy and burn V2, right? Let's take a look at the numbers here. Now going back to the V1, that's the back pocket Ethereum. It hasn't been touched in a long time. All right, we're going on a year, just about. It's got 4,458 Ethereum in the back pocket not being used, which is worth $10.4 million plus. Now, the fast release, which is the V2, right now, the swap that happens, it's callable, is every 280 minutes. So 3.33 Ethereum can be called by the users, the user, to burn the, to trigger it so that it buys and burns 3.33 ETH of Titanx out of circulation, right out of the market, right? And one thing at the beginning was people, when the mining phase ended, people were like, well, is this going to last? You know? And the thing that Jake did was he adjusted it. It's not an immutable smart contract, right? He can operate it and fix it to do whatever he wants it to do. It could burn 5 ETH every 5 minutes. At the very beginning, it was doing it like every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes, every 3 minutes. It was because there was a ton of ETH, right, from all the miners being created. So with that being said, it's set to 3.33. It can be set to do that instead of every 280 minutes, you can do it every 4 or 5 hours, whatever amount of time that is. So that can be changed. There's 773 Ethereum there that's being utilized, right, at that rate of the 3.33 ETH, worth 1.8 million. Now, if we switch over to Hyper's got its buy and burn. It surpassed the 773 ETH that's in the original Titanx V2, right? And this bad boy has 886 Ethereum that's worth over $2 million. Now that right there, now we got two buy and burns within the protocol that are going to spend ETH. This one spends 1 ETH that's callable every 180 minutes. So what's going to continue to build this pool is exactly what happened in Titanx in the early stages of when this launched, is people making miners, right? Why were people making so many miners? Because the profitability, the ROI, how profitable it actually was from the start was very, very attractive. Well, let's take a look at what's going on with Hyper. This looks very attractive to me, right? It wasn't like when Titanx, when you're making the miners, it was like 1,800%. You're seeing some crazy numbers at the beginning, right? Right now, it costs 0.2 ETH to make a miner length that's max days of 88 days, miner power, which is the max power of 100, 0.2 ETH, which is worth $468. That miner value would be $2,042, which is 336.22%. That's 336% profit people are looking at down the road when they see that number. So that's creating a lot of hype. Right now, the thing to do is make these hyper miners. And that is where the mining frenzy's at that's feeding this pool right now. So you got to think what's going to happen here is this is going to continue to grow as long as those numbers are in profit. And when Titanx goes up and Hyper goes up, the profit is going to skyrocket and this pool is going to be fed more and more and more. On the flip side to that, even though the burning pool flipping has happened, Hyper's got some other mechanics too that are contributing. So Hyper has $915,000 worth of Titanx just sitting here. So it's going to be callable at some point. It looks like every 180 minutes, and it's going to buy and burn Hyper. And the total used Titanx is listed here. So it's using its Titanx to buy and burn the Hyper token, which brings up the Hyper token value, which brings up the ROI for the miners, which feeds more ETH for this pool. So the flywheel keeps on spinning, and it keeps on spinning, right? And then you have the Vortex. The Vortex is, I think it's going to be due any day now. That's got 365 Ethereum. But what you're seeing here is now that Titanx price is up right now, and as it continues to go up, once Titanx kills a 0, and we're at 5 zeros and a 1 plus, people are going to be looking, and they're already making miners in Titanx. I said it already and predicted that if a new mining cycle happened for Titanx like it did at the very beginning, it probably happened around the 1 year mark, which makes sense because DragonX is going to get that fat Ethereum payout to be able to utilize Ethereum to buy and burn Titanx off the market. So all these other flywheels plus the DragonX payout, Hydra, Hyper, everything's going to be in full motion, and all the other build on Titanx platforms across the ecosystem are going to be burning the living daylights of the Titanx. Hydra goes live. You need your Titanx to make Hydra miners, right? So that's going to take a lot of Titanx out of circulation and out of the hands of these bag holders. So it's really the price should do very, 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 very extremely well, I would predict and speculate for these reasons. And you're seeing people, like I said, we could have 1 year later from the time it started a mining cycle where people are making miners. Right now, if I go to, I'll refresh the page, Titanx.watch, right? We take a look here. People are actually making miners and their new stakes are happening. So in the past 24 hours, 8 miners were made. That's $3,600. So people are creeping up and just low key buying. Like you see this person, max power, 280-day length miners, and it's being done right now. 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then look at how far back as how many days ago that people start doing this to anticipate that it's going to be back in profit to make a miner through the Titanx original protocol, which fed the V1 and the V2. So even though the V2 on Titanx buy and burn just got flipped by Hyper's buy and burn, they can start rising together and go neck and neck with the price of Titanx going up. People could be making miners on all cylinders. Miners on Titanx, and the flywheel just spins back. All roads lead to Titanx, and miners being made on Titanx, hyper miners, Hydra miners, and that's how you keep it going, right? So this started like a month ago, and this has been dead for a while, right? And it's picking up. It's picking up. Stakes, and I don't know why people would be making stakes, but they're making stakes too. Look at that, 30-day max stakes. They're making stakes, tons of them, in the last day or so. And to me, I was like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. Why would people be making stakes? Let me go to the chat. Let's see, just so I don't ditch you guys. Rich S, Jake should turn up the buy and burn on day 333. Yeah, I mean, he could kick the buy and burn on the same day that Dragon X gets its payout, and we can see like a very parabolic move and get an early Christmas gift, right? You never know. Hi, R2R. Is it late to buy Titanx? And I covered this recently as to why, and this is not financial advice as to why you're not late, because when the project first came out, right, we reached levels as far as 4 zeros and a 1-4. So it's been going down for a long time. And right now we're at 6 zeros and an 8. So I believe with the flywheel and effect and all the buy and burns being fed more Ethereum between Hyper and Titanx. Again, if you have Titanx miners and people start a miner frenzy, you're going to be earning T rank. Remember that. More Titanx. We're a long ways from the previous all-time highs. And I think we not only get to all-time highs because taking a look at some data here, we'll go to the Mike Dean's Dune Analytics. Let's take a look here at the future supply, right? So this talks about the next 14 days. There's going to be a big, on the 15th, there's going to be a lot of miners being coming out so people can collect their miners. Will they line it up so Hydra launches on the 15th to make sure that people don't collect their miners and dump the price? That would be reasonable to think. You can speculate that. But stretching it out, look at here from September 11th all the way to November 30th. Look at this. This is future supply coming out. It's really going down to practically no inflation right now, all the way to the end of the year. So I'm preaching to myself, hold that Titanx, man, because supply shock and the way people are going to be burning and using it, you might get in a situation where you feel like you don't have enough Titanx across the board, right? And you're definitely not minting a lot of it. I mean, people have miners coming up. I have them all throughout all the way into December. And it's just, look at this. There's not a lot of, there's just this one day here, this day here, and a few days in between. But when this happens, man, we're going to have Hydra in effect. We can fight that. And there's the buy and burns. Like, it's not a huge threat. And it really never was, because when inflation was at its highest, the buy and burns were kicking in. So you're going to see the buy and burns on multiple levels fight inflation. But look at that, man. Practically no supplies coming out for the rest of the year. Very little in comparison to the inflation of other tokens out there in crypto. That's a dream. What's up, Bartertown? Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate you. He says, I think people are staking in prep for X28, maybe. Yeah, that's one thought I had, I was keeping in mind when I was thinking about why people would be making stakes. If X28 is going to be something that benefits people that are staking, then I'm ready to go across the board on multiple wallets. Like, I have several wallets that I stake positions in. And if X28 does something where I can, make money off those miners, because they're max staked, right? They're max staked. It's 3,500 days. I don't even know what the world's going to be like in 3,500 days, to be completely honest with you. X28 comes out and gives people a position to come out of miners and make some money. That'll be cool. I don't know any information about X28 at this point. I hear it's supposed to be like what Shogun was supposed to be, but do I actually know? I don't have a communication with anybody behind the scenes, Jake, nobody, to actually know what is to come about from that, So I could speculate. This probably is evidence here that somebody knows, and you can see if they're the same addresses doing it or is it multiple. So there's people that know. This wallet ending in 6-4, making all them mistakes, right? You got to think, why would this person do that? Why would this person do that? And it has a little bit of information you could take a look at here. T rank bonus and all that stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. It looks like they've just been staking for months. So there's something. There's something. These analytics here and these numbers are painting a picture. And then you got the Dragon X payout, day 369. That's 876 Ethereum. So X28. If it was going to allow people to get out of their positions, I would imagine that it would happen. X28 would launch before this payout cycle, right? That only seems logical so that Titanx could position Dragon X to get the complete lion's share. But there's mechanics as far as Hydra is concerned that are going to help, bring that to higher percentages as far as the lion's share that they already own Dragon X in their position with the payout. Because the payout here, if you go to Titanx website, you can click on payouts and you can see on this wallet, I don't expect on day 369 to get a half a BNB. I think there's mechanics that are going to add to Dragon X's position. I'll probably get diluted to like 0.05. It is what it is, even my 888. So that's going to take away any future payouts for anybody who's staking. So I imagine people wouldn't be staking knowing that. They must know something else in reverse that's going to be beneficial. So glad you pointed that out, Bartertown, because it's more likely, what's probably happening. Probably happening. Let's take a look at the price of Dragon X right now. Dragon X, listen, am I even in the right pool? $17 in liquidity? Hold up. Let me get to the right Dragon X pool here. It's this one right here that has, man, I love to see these numbers on a slot machine, 777. That's a big winner. So we're at 4 zeros and a 1 plus $54 million market cap. You see this low LP? That's why I can slingshot to, a 5 or 10x easily based off the tokenomics and the burning mechanics of Hydra and what it'll do. But ultimately, you have to think of it like this. The play I'm looking at is I got some good profits right now on my Dragon X entries. And if Hydra launches, it would make sense, instead of getting new capital during the volatility of the market, it would make sense for me to swap my Dragon X for Titanx to participate in Hydra, to then play the mining game on a leverage token of Dragon X, which Dragon X is a leverage token on Titanx. Titanx is a leverage play on Ethereum. And I can increase my position that way, because ultimately when that happens, there will be a sell-off to get into Titanx to play Hydra, or people will sell to, they bought the rumor, they're selling the news of the Hydra platform and hype, anticipating gains. But I would think the smartest move would be, for me personally, I'm not a financial advisor, would be to sell some Dragon X. I want to risk it for the biscuit for this. I don't find it risking it, because you're playing leverage on miners. We've seen when miner profitabilities are high, the Hydra token, when you make those Hydra miners, are going to be worth it. And Hydra should outperform Dragon X, like Dragon X is outperforming Titanx. You should be able to play the ratios to come back to your Dragon X position with more Dragon X than you originally sacrificed to swap for Titanx. And that's the way the cycle works. You end up swapping more Hydra for more Dragon X, then you swap back to Titanx to end up with more Titanx coming from Dragon X. And it's a nice little cycle there. Let's see. Trayvon said he's doing 200-day staking ladders with extra Titanx divs. He's claiming. But his reason is in X28. His reason is that he could sell it if it was liquid, so he'd rather stake it out. He's doing exactly what I do, and he's done with Hex. With Hex, I have to stake it because I can't keep it liquid. I just want to sell it and trade it. I got to save me from myself. So some wallets I haven't even touched or done transactions with, that got my biggest stakes in Hex. And then I got these ladders where I'll pay myself on a Friday, sell it, and then I'm restaking on some. So I got to be If I'm doing that with Hex, that would be a position to do that with Titanx, but obviously not a max miner, you know? Let me take my Titanx and stake it for 60 days to make sure I don't touch it. And that's a good thing too, because I'm going to start collecting a ton more miners because I went all in like late January and did mass miners on some wallets. And I was like 10 grand at a time, 10 grand at a time. Like, let me throw it out there and 280 days, let's see what happens. So when I collect those, right, coming up in the beginning of October ish, mid October, I'm like, let me just stake them for 60 days so I don't touch it. And I'm like, let me do it between Christmas Day, and January 1st to save myself, right? Because if I see the price going up, your emotions start to get out of control and you may want to sell. So I definitely need to protect myself through staking. Again, when you stake your Titanx, you don't have to commit to a max stake. You don't have to do it to earn crazy ETH yields. You can do it to save yourself. That's what I want to do. And that's funny you brought that up. So Trayvon's got the same degen personality as me because nothing's safe. You know, Bitcoin could go to 40K and I might go, I need to extract all this value and send it to my bank. You know, I don't feel safe here. And then it turns out the market turns. So the media and what's going on in politics and the overall economy globally is affecting the price of Bitcoin. One day it's really up, one day it's really down. And it's like, what direction are we going? Okay, let me save myself from being wrecked. Let's see. I think people are missing that the continuous compound on Hyper and Hydra is the move. Jake and Eric are managing the LPs to be sure that the second level protocols are in profit. Yeah, no, I agree. And that's why I said utilizing, I look at it this way. I have this Dragon X bag that's in really good profit that I'm happy with. So if I take, let's say, 25% and I swap it for Titanx to participate into Hydra, I can do the compounding from there and still hold liquid Dragon X. If they have a protocol that comes out and I have 75% of my original Dragon X, you understand they're going to do build on Dragon X like they have hashtag build on Titan X. And then I can leverage out the remaining Dragon X that I want to, you know, let's say another 25% on build on Dragon X protocols, keep 50% of my stack for the long run and play that game. And that's going to be ways to store your value and to double up and triple up based off the ratios and end up with more Dragon X. So your 50% that you allocated to Hydra and the other 25% that you allocated towards other build on Dragon X protocols, that 50% comes back, but like 2 to 3x the amount. So now you got more. And it's like playing it strategically safe, right? That's how I would say it. So it's like staking, but earning more coins. 88-day cycles, not long, and you can make decisions when miners come out, but you'll get more Titanx and Dragon X out of it. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I think we're on the same page. He's saying, yeah, you get it. So that's the name of the game, and that's pretty much how I played it with Titanx. Minus the fact that I have a wallet that just always sells. Now the wallet that I'm always selling on is I believe it's my public wallet, right? The one I've always had on YouTube. I told myself, you know what? I think this is the one where I want to stop selling. I stopped selling here, and let me stake it out till Thanksgiving, and then I'll reevaluate those. Right? So why sell it for way less than it could possibly be? So maybe I'll stake it out to November 5th, right at the election day. That was what I was telling myself, and see, or the day after the election, see what happens with the market. You know, because if Kamala Harris wins, and people really think that Trump is in fact pro Bitcoin and she would bring hard regulation, I don't know how the market's going to react, right? I might want to be like, let me sell my Titanx now, and like we're going to go into rocky times, or you know, vice versa. If Trump wins, you never know how that'll turn out. What do I think about Inferno? I did a complete video about it. I thought I did a complete live stream and video outlining it. I got in before it killed the zero. I got into Blaze before it took off, way before it took off past $2 and where it's at. And I'm happy about that position. Let's look at the price of both of those right now. Really quick here. Inferno. And I'm going to talk about Flux soon. Maybe tomorrow I'll talk about Flux. 5 zeros and a 127. So I'm doing really good. I'm really happy about that. Really happy about that. Wow. Blaze, take a look at the price of Blaze. This one right here is like, this has to be one of my most epic moves in the Titanx ecosystem that happened like so quickly after. What am I doing here? Blaze? Nothing's why is it not popping up for me? I should have saved. I'm going to save it on my watch list. As soon as I get to it, I'm saving it on my watch list, right? And here it is. So let me add that to my watch list, main watch list. Boom, it's all here with these tokens. Got to add DragonX to it too. But I'm happy with the price. You know, I'm going to keep playing the game accumulation. I feel like this token, it has a very low supply. It has a lot of good mechanics behind it. They're going to really help the token thrive. And it's got an ecosystem between Inferno, and then there's going to be Flux, and there's going to be a lot of protocols that are here. They're going to build on DragonX as well. So you can speculate that everyone's going to help DragonX, and everyone's going to have a reason to be in existence and do much better as far as price. Let's see. You can tell the Blaze team got some pointers from Jake and Eric on the direction to take their ecosystem. Yeah, absolutely. I know several teams that have met with Jake that made it and some that went a different direction, right? And his main thing is if you're going to build a protocol, a build on Titanx protocol, you have to follow Hart's law, where your token's got to be paired up with Titanx, and it's got to have certain expectations, certain things that are helping the bottom line, Titanx, that'll help your token because it supports Titanx and the community is here for Titanx. So there's different levels of criteria and you know, different things you have to implement for him to support you. And one of the teams that walked away from that too, I was like, man, it really could have just did it, but I think they saw it differently. And from what I understand, that he's not very like, it's not a negotiable thing, right? When it comes to pairing up with Titanx. And I think they didn't want to be exposed to the price of Titanx. Now, that was months ago. Now, if they see what Titanx is doing, they probably wish they would have went in that direction. So maybe he was right. He was absolutely right. Should do that. Let's see. Eric had 0 input. Jake had some. Yeah, I don't know about Eric, what he does. Listen, I've never had, it's been I can't even say a bumpy road. We didn't hit it off. Been blocked by him. And I know Jake gets involved with other teams. What he's done with Blaze, I'm not sure, but I think everyone gets the core idea of what you need to do, right? You need to build Titanx, you know, you need to support the ecosystem. And then certain tokenomics and the way you LP, all that comes together, and the community is going to support you. So it's definitely, yeah, like you said, pair with Titanx is a must. And like I said, I've talked to some teams that didn't want to do that. And you know, Jake was like, well, you know, that's not going to work for me. And I understand why that was a thing where, you know, if I'm going to embrace you, you know, and I'm coming from the hex world. I believe in Hart's law, and when Titanx goes up, we all go up. And when these tokens go up that you have that you're pairing, let's say Blaze and Inferno, you know, all tides will rise together. So it's for the greater good. It really is. Definitely something that you know, other build on DragonX protocols, when those come out, they have seen the simulations in full effect of what's happened on the build on Titanx protocols and which ones did good or great or better than others, which ones weren't so great. And they have that data to extract and things should play out way better and quicker. They're going to be quicker, meaning working a lot faster, because it was a learning process of developing what was going to work on the Build and Titanx ecosystem. Now you got the blueprint of what worked the best. Now you can implement that on Build on Dragon X and get to that goal line much quicker, is the way I see it. Let's see, what percentage of your liquid Titanx are you allocating to Hydra? That's going to be 25% of liquid Dragon X is going to go to swap into Titanx to get into Hydra. The other 25% out of 100%, so I'm going to only utilize 50%, keep 50% liquid, is 25. The other 25% is going to go to participate on the other Build on Dragon X protocols. And I could still end up with 100% of my bag back in the end if I play it right with the ratios. So when I play Hydra, I'm acting as that's going to be my leverage to earn more Dragon X to bring my 25% back plus, right? So I can end up with a 50% allocation of tokens and getting like a 200% return on tokens back, my 50% plus another 150 on top. That's the way to play the game. Let's see. I'm on the Blaze team. We appreciate you covering us. Hey, man, I've been wanting to communicate with you guys, just in case, like when I'm making content about your token. You know, I have at least updates and things that I'm aware of. You know, from what I've done as far as research on my own about your token, I come here and let me share the page. I come here and look at the tokenomics. I get really extremely excited, understanding that the entire existence of the tokens is based off of participation in the auction, and then users can either buy off the market or participate in the auction. But an 11 million supply, right, is really low supply, people, when it comes to Blaze token. 11 million will ever be in existence, from what I researched, right? And it's there. You can read on the white paper. So you look at that with the combination of, there's only 411 holders, but the 11 million tokens, that's going to take, what is it, 18 years, if I'm hitting that right? So that's a slow grind to bring out those tokens into circulation. And then they have different mechanics here, and I'll bring up the website. They're really helping with the entire goal of what we're trying to do here with Titanx. So let me take a look here. Buy and burn. You see this platform here, and everything that you see, everything stems from Titanx, which makes it like fairly easy to figure out, right? So I like what they got going on with Inferno. So Inferno is the one that's got the burn, and you got to really look at all these diagrams and all the white papers that they have here available for you. But I like the low supply. I like that it's going to be, you know, hard to get from an auction. I'm familiar with that due to the fact that I've participated in Hex and all, you know, all the other platforms that kind of mimic that. And I gotta say, I think they nailed it. They're getting the community support. The community is really back in this project, so that's always a plus. Inferno market cap is going to reach parity with Dragon X, I'm thinking. Let me bring back up the Inferno token really quick. And I just want to look at like the circulating supply of the token. I don't remember it off the top of the dome here. So how many tokens are in circulation right now? Like 1.9 trillion. Okay. And how many tokens? I mean, yeah, if that's a parity, I imagine that if this team is, let's say, building for Build on Titanx, you know, they're going to pair up Inferno or Blaze with Dragon X. That's if they're building on top of it. You know, that was the whole concept of building on Titanx, was to pair up those LPs. So definitely could move with the tide there too as well. I'm not sure if they're going to reach a parity or how that would happen, to be completely honest. Blaze filled the ETH payout void that occurred in Titanx staking. Okay. Okay, so that makes sense. I see what you're saying there. Okay. So we have, you know, all these supported protocols right now. And I mean, how many are there? Let's go take a look at titanxhub.com, right? We can see the active ones. DragonX, Hyper, Helios, Inferno, Baby DragonX, Blaze, and I think these are like soon to come. And I saw some stats here I wanted to look at too. Is if you go to stats, you can see if you look at Inferno, look what Inferno has done. Inferno has burned a lot of Titanx, right? This right here, that's a lot of Titanx. No, this is total Titanx. It's burned a lot of Titanx versus everybody else. 463 billion Titanx burned. It's literally burned more Titanx than DragonX has, right? DragonX is going to be able to buy and burn Titanx on day 369. So while we wait for that big moment for 369 to happen, right, as we anticipate that, Inferno's already putting in that work and burning the heck out of Titanx. And it looks like what would that be top? Let's take a look here. Actually, versus Hyper. Let's see, versus Hyper. 400, so 5.9 Hyper. That makes sense. So Hydra's going to catch up, right? So it's burned a lot. And Helios has burned a lot too. But Helios had a head start since late February. And Inferno has surpassed Helios. Not saying anything bad about Helios, but the numbers are the numbers. It's burned more than Helios. It's been out since late February, early March. And then it's going to, continue to move up that ladder. Hyper's burn this amount. DragonX this amount. So DragonX will catch up. They're all going to be burning Titanx. Ultimately, 6.9 trillion tokens have been burnt by just these 4 protocols. That's pretty cool. All right. Those are stats you like to see. Final mint cycle for Inferno is open this Friday. Supply is capped forever after that. Oh, that's right. That's right. You guys got to go to their website. Okay, we're going to pull up the website here. Enter Inferno. The last cycle, right, starts in 1 day, 20 hours, and 30 minutes and 28 seconds. Your opportunity to come here and participate, right, by utilizing your Titanx to mint Inferno token is coming to an end. And I think the white paper, when I covered it the other day, will tell you based on the cycle on what day it is, what your allocation will be. So if you've seen the Titanx allocation, like remember when DragonX first came out? Let me make sure I'm on the right screen here that you guys are looking at. Remember when DragonX first came out? They had like a swapping ratio. Well, now that we're at the last week, where week 8 coming up, 1 Titanx equals 0.65 Inferno. And then that opportunity is going bye-bye, right? Which it's already decreased 5% each week since week 1. So you guys got to go do your research, take a look at the white paper that we're looking at here, and understand that Inferno is now going to only be available, to buy off the market versus minting. Price is probably going to go up drastically, one can imagine, but this website is very easy to see. You're not going to have to dig very far to find out what's underneath the hood. You just come to the burn section here, and you can see that they have, $1.2 million plus of Titanx ready to buy and burn. So they're doing it every 30 minutes. And the user that calls that function actually gets paid out. Right now, it'd be like $21, close to $22 in Titanx just to call this function, which it triggers the next buy and burn here. And the Inferno that's been burnt is 45%. So 45% of the Inferno has been burnt. That's almost half of the freaking supply. That is crazy. I apologize for flooding your chat, just dropping the info because it's my life currently. No, I appreciate you coming on here because I wanted to connect with you. I wanted to interact with you in some way. I don't know where to find you on Telegram or anything like that, so that I can express not only the mechanics, but the bullishness and what you guys have achieved so far. So I'm liking what you guys have done. I'm seeing the community really come gather together and support you guys and excitement. And word is you guys got some things going on to possibly build on Dragon X. I don't know how true that is, but I think the future's bright. You got till Friday to make that educated decision. Do your research. But I just like the stream I made. You can go watch the video from a week back. I participated. I'm very happy that I did that with both Inferno and Blaze. And now that this time for Inferno is coming to an end, that's where I'm like, okay, things are going to really start to evolve and pop off. So I'm lucky that I found that and I was able to, express that on video. And I think people were excited that are in my Telegram and community. Bullish on Inferno as well. Fair launch, strong community. Once supply is capped, the Titanx ratio gets released into the wild. Exciting stuff. Yeah, very exciting stuff. I'm happy to see that. Let's go back and track the buy and burn, right? 887 now. So I mean, every 180 minutes, it's adding to the pool when miners are being created. Right now, it's exciting times. Go to these Dune analytics here and just take a look. This paints the story. Right? So if you wanted to sell Titanx right now, if you get a miner before the 15th, and I understand if you're selling, right? Maybe these 2 days here. But after that, you have so much of the decrease in supply that's being minted that's ridiculous right there, right? Plus, you're going to have all these launches of Hydra that's going to burn Titanx. All these other protocols are going to kick into gear. Why can't you wait till the end of the year, right? Wait until we go into full throttle. This train hasn't left the station. It's still here. It's parked at your local train station. It's going to be taking off soon. I think that's going to spark with the Hydra launch. And yeah, this is a good thing that we're looking at as far as stats. Really excited to be a part of that. I made a decision to long-term stake and make 280-day miners across the board on all my wallets. And who isn't happy about that right now when you look at that? All right. So yeah, what are we about? 42 minutes in. I appreciate everybody joining. We're going to end the stream here. Maybe let's see. Can you do the same video with Hydra? What do you like more, Hyper or Hydra? Yeah, when Hydra comes out, I'll do a video on strategy and what I'm doing. So when you ask a question about like, what do you like more, Hyper or Hydra? Well, Hyper and Hydra are basically the same protocols for different tokens, actually. So Hyper benefits a mining mechanism, just like Titanx originally started with, to feed a pool that's going to buy and burn Titanx. And Hyper is the token that is going to be burned as well using, and you'll take a look here with Hyper, it's going to use the Hyper buy and burn by taking Titanx. And let's see if I'm on the right page. Taking Titanx and buy and burning Hyper off the market. So that flywheel is right there that's helping Titanx in the building Titanx ecosystem. It was like one of the biggest ones that was built for building on Titanx alongside with DragonX. And then you got Helios and you got, Inferno. So now you have a new ecosystem with DragonX. It's a leverage play on Titanx. And that part of that flywheel for that token is going to be Hydra, which is identical as Hyper, what it does for Titanx. I said Hydra is going to benefit the DragonX ecosystem and benefit the DragonX token. But the kicker is it's going to benefit Titanx because you need Titanx to go in to make miners. So you got to love, as long as you're participating, you got to love everything. Everything is going to equal out and make things, great. Hit that like button. Thank you. Hit that like button. LFG. So thank you for all your support, guys. Got to roll out of here. Don't forget, pound the like button, drop a comment, post notifications. Thank you for everybody's support. Follow me on X, and we'll do it again. Till next time. Yeah, dog.